Hello and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. So today's topic is a trainer education, and we're going to be talking about balancing client acquisition with client retention. So basically, how do you get new people while holding on to who you have? So the reason why I use the fancy words are so that way, in case somebody was searching for a podcast about client acquisition or client retention, those are probably the terms they're going to search for. So, but that's basically what we're talking about: is how do I get new people without losing who I have, and then how do I focus on who I have, but also still put in time, energy, and efforts needed to get new people. So when I do trainer consultations, and I am fortunate that I help a lot of trainers who are my clients. Like I do their programming for them, nutrition and training programming. And then I also have a couple trainers that I do ghost writing for, where I write programs for their clients. Their clients don't ever know about it. That's the ghost part of it. But they'll basically tell me the client's history, the issues they're having. I'll write the programming and then educate the trainer on why I wrote it the way I wrote it, so that way they can keep the client long term and kind of know how to build from there. So those are really cool, fun things that I've kind of stumbled into as I've gotten further along in my career. So I've been personal training for 17 years. I've owned Brutal Iron Gym for 9 years, and it is the sole source of income. It's everything I do to make money for my life. So I've been able to do well at it so far. So I'm very blessed and grateful for that. And part of that has been as you do anything in an industry long enough, anybody who's newer to that industry might look towards like, hey, how in the world have you done this for 17 years, or how have you had your own business and this is the only thing you do, for 9 years? How have you survived? And so they'll start asking questions, and it's kind of developed from there. So it's been kind of fun to be able to teach people. One of my favorite things to do is actually teach them all the mistakes I made, so that way they don't repeat them. So that's something I wish I would have had when I was younger, or when I was starting my career. Is often people tell you what to do, and in the meantime of trying to get to that or accomplish those things, you make a lot of mistakes. It'd be nice to also know what not to do. So, but this concept of client retention versus acquisition is something that comes up often in the consultations and just with discussions with other trainers, to the point where you'll have kind of like an either or scenario. So you'll have a trainer who they take care of their clients. Everything is about their clients. They're super devoted. They try to create like the bestest workouts ever, and they try to make sure everything's great. They listen to them during the sessions. They really truly devote themselves to the people they have. But they always say, I can't seem to get enough new clients, or I can't bring in new people, or, like, man, I'm doing well in my business, but it seems to be dying, so it's like when they get somebody, they can hold them. They just have a hard time getting them. And then you have people who are natural born salesmen, and they can get people signed up for sessions, anytime they really want, but they have a hard time holding on to them. So I've done consultations with trainers themselves, but then also like personal training directors. And often that's what you'll see is the second case with personal training directors is at big gyms, they'll get clients and members and stuff signed up for like programming or like session packages. But then the person leaves after just like the first package is up, and they wonder why. And that's because they're a good salesman, but their trainer on staff isn't necessarily following through with everything that's needed for client retention. So in those cases, we're going to give some information today that helps, but that's been stuff that's kind of we've discussed in a couple of the most recent kind of consultation type things. So I figured I'd make a podcast about it, just kind of discuss what I've been discussing with those trainers. So for the first scenario we'll look at is the trainer who takes care of their clients. They focus on developing the best workouts. They listen very well to their client during the session. They even follow up with text messages, emails. They really know like the client's spouse names. They know their kids' names. They know like the names of the schools where the kids go to school. So they like the trainer who's truly devoted to their clientele, but they can't seem to bring in new people. So 3 things, we'll just kind of look at 3 today for this category of what they can do to get new clients that often they're not doing well. So the first thing is often in these cases the person is devoting themselves to the clientele they have. They kind of maybe grew very quickly, very easily, maybe through word of mouth, and they didn't really have to work to build the initial burst of clients. So what you'll typically see with those trainers is they're often not advertising themselves very well or enough. And when I first opened up the gym, I looked at things like TV advertisement, newspaper advertisement, radio advertisement, and the costs were absolutely just stupid. Absolutely stupid. And the worst one was the newspaper. It was ridiculous. They wanted a lot of money for just some stupid little 3-inch by 3-inch or 2-inch by 2-inch, thing in a newspaper that people would read on a Sunday, but they wouldn't run it every day. That was unbelievably dumb on their part. No wonder they're going out of business. That does make me sound very angry, but it was actually a benefit to me that the cost was prohibitive, because it forced me to be more creative and actually find ways that were more helpful and cheaper. So I'm sure they have bills to pay, and they got employees to pay salary and whatnot. So the money was probably what they needed, but it was not a really good idea on their part, because it was really cost prohibitive. So what I ended up doing was getting onto social media, so Facebook. And when I first started the gym, I wasn't aware of Instagram, so it may have existed. I have no clue. And then I've never really used Twitter. So still to this day, I don't get on Twitter much. But I understood Facebook. I didn't sign up for even Facebook until I was almost done with my undergraduate in college. So apparently I'm a dinosaur and I don't really get into social media much. But in today's day and age, everybody's into social media, So social media is absolutely going to be the best way to go to advertise. Is it saturated? Oh, hell yes. But it's free. So, it can't beat free. So you're going to want to get on social media and post about yourself. Now, we're going to talk about this in a second, about how to do so in the best way. But what I love is I get on Instagram, and what I like about Instagram is when I post on Instagram, it will automatically post on the business page for Facebook and Twitter. So I actually just have to post on Instagram, that's it, and it takes care of Facebook and Twitter. So rather than me having to do an Instagram post, then a Facebook post, then a Twitter post, and I know there's other things out there that, I know Snapchat exists, but I don't see how that's beneficial for business. I think they say everything disappears on there, so I don't know. And then TikTok is a new one, and I signed up for it and stuff, but I don't really understand that one yet. So it looks like short little video clips, which is kind of what Instagram is. Now, I'm sure people are laughing at this because I sound like an idiot. But the point is go learn about social media. So as little as I know, I still signed up for TikTok. I'm still getting on there to kind of look around and see what people do. So even though I don't know much about it, I'm still trying to learn. I'm not kind of just shutting things out. So when I got on Snapchat, so I actually have a Snapchat account, and it really looked like you just sent videos to individuals. I didn't see a community page where you would see what other people were doing. So I didn't really see a homepage feature, for example, or news feed or whatever they call these things. So I didn't really see the point in doing Snapchat for business. And then TikTok, like I said, I'm still new to that, so I'm still learning on how to handle that one if I'm going to post on there. So Instagram, what I like about it is its ease of use in terms of finding things. And I don't know, it just seems easy to navigate. And one of the features I actually like a lot about it is there's a word count. So it forces me not to type too damn much that people won't read through, which I used to do and I still do sometimes. I'm kind of too much information based. So I've had to learn how to condense the information. And one of the ways I've been able to do that is through multiple formats. So for example, on Instagram, I'll post a 1-minute video, and I'll be talking during the video. So that way when I do the writing for the post, I don't have to write as much. So instead of having all the information crammed into one long article no one's going to read, it gives me kind of a 50-50 type thing. So they can read a little bit of an article, maybe watch the video, and kind of get all the information, but it doesn't feel like it was overwhelmingly through one format. So that is super helpful. The more you can diversify how you're delivering the information, it doesn't feel as boring to the listener or reader. So that's a good idea. Um, and I think video is super helpful compared to articles because video gives the person more a sense of personal connection than reading articles does. So, especially with today's day and age and the way our society is today, we're more of a visual culture than a reading culture. So you're going to get a lot more people through a video than you will through an article, even of the same information. So and you can see that in the analytics they have for these different social media platforms. So you can see the analytics in terms of like how many people were engaged via an article versus via a video, and you'll see that the videos are infinitely more. So but there's some real quick is what you want to do. I've gotten a little sidetracked, but hopefully that was at least information, interesting information on the sidetrack. But you want to get on social media, okay? And do not tell them things about yourself. Don't just post about yourself all the damn time, okay? Trainers do this all the time, and it's absolutely stupid. So what you see is like they'll be having their shirt off, or they'll be in very little clothes, or it's like a picture of a girl's ass or a guy's like bicep, and then they have some quote about like living life correctly. Like, it's so stupid. It's ridiculous. So is a picture of a girl's butt going to get like people to engage or look at your photo? Yeah, it will. But is it going to get clients? Probably not. And if you do get clients, I doubt you're going to get long-term successful clients. You might get a girl who wants a butt like that too. So, and they think, well, if she has that, maybe she can get me one. Or you're going to get guys sending you ridiculously inappropriate messages. So don't do that, ladies. And then guys, you're also going to get inappropriate messages, by the way. So it does work both ways. And then again, you might get somebody who says like, oh, that guy's got, six-pack abs and big biceps. I want that too. But those people are going to be really short-term clientele. And the reason why is because they just think like that mindset is going to be the type that comes in and you're just going to flip a switch for them, show them some magic, thing that they can do for half-assed effort for 16 weeks, and all of a sudden they have the body they want for the rest of their life. So don't post about what you do, post about what you know. So for example, if you do have six-pack abs, post about what you did to get them or how you can show someone else how to get them. Don't just put them in a picture. Okay? So explain to people your knowledge. And you want to set people up, the reader up, to be a potential hero of the story and you as the guide, not you as the hero. So what I mean by that is if you post a video saying like, oh, I benched 315 for 10 today. Congratulations, whoop-de-doo, no one gives a shit. Okay? Instagram is full of that. So instead post, had a great workout today, was able to hit a new PR. This is what I've been doing to build my bench up, and you can do it too. That is way better. So you did get to show a little bit about yourself. You got to show some credibility to the information that you're going to post. So if you're going to post somebody how to increase their bench, and you can bench 315 for 10, that's pretty damn good. That's going to get some attention. Okay? But, so there is value in showing what you can do if it supports what you're telling them that you can help them do. But just showing what you do on its own doesn't help anything. Okay? So if you want good long-term clientele, you want to set them up as like as they're the potential hero, and you're going to show them how they can bring forth their best self. So you're going to say like you don't even know it yet. You could be so freaking awesome just doing this and this and this. I'm going to show you the way. Oh man, that's way more inspiring. Then look how awesome I am. Maybe you can be awesome too. But that's no good. So really you have to be careful in the way you advertise. So a lot of times when people don't know valuable information, so say a trainer isn't good, yeah, of course they're going to post a bunch of half-naked selfies because that's the only thing they have. They don't have knowledge. So if you are a good trainer, if you want to set yourself apart from everybody else in a saturated medium, then you have to show what you know, not what you do, or at least a combination of that. Okay? And then again, make them the potential hero, the reader, or the potential client. Make them the hero of the story, and you are the guide. Don't be the hero yourself. Okay? Cool. Now, we'll talk more about that later. So advertising is something you can absolutely do on social media. It's free, so good luck. Have fun with that. Definitely develop that. You can also do community events. So if you want to bring in new clientele, community events are often pretty cheap. Like, so if you have a community event, maybe a local American Red Cross is doing, a health heart awareness weekend, and they're going to do a blood drive. So maybe you can contact them and say, hey, you know what, would I be able to put up a table for my business? And, is that a potential? Something to kind of help support the blood drive, like, that kind of thing. So they might say, yeah, sure, maybe $50, $100, $150, something relatively cheap. So, and that's cheap in business, by the way. So you'll set up a table, and at the table you want to do some type of interactions. You want to do some type of small challenge. So it could be like holding a certain weight for like as much long as they can. You can have like battle ropes set up, so people can kind of play around with battle ropes. Make sure whatever you do for your small event challenge, they don't put any weight over top of their body or face or head so that we don't get injured. Make sure they don't do anything that can mess up their lower back, okay, or mess up their knees. Just do very fun, safe things. But have some type of interaction. That's going to get more people to your table. People will watch and people want to participate a little bit, but it gives more interaction, more fun, okay? You also want to have pictures. So if you're a personal trainer and you have like a studio, have pictures of your studio. But what you really want to do is actually have pictures with people in them and the people doing stuff and having fun. So if people look at pictures of other people doing what they want to do, they're more enticed. So I could have a picture of my gym and people go, oh, that's nice. Or you could have a picture of, like, say, you like coaching a client as they're using the battle ropes. And it's just kind of a picture where you can see you and the client and maybe like the ropes in their hands. That'll get people way more interested. That photo where somebody's in it and they're having fun or they're doing something. Photos with people in them are way more effective than general photos, okay, without people in them. So have action photos, have photos with people in them. And then have handouts, okay, little flyers you can give out, and have a way of getting contact information. So, like, you can give away, like, pens. I know that sounds so stupid, but they're really cheap. So you can get pens with your business name on them, and then say, hey, if you don't mind, we do a newsletter every month. And you don't even have to yet. You can just say that. But say, like, we do a newsletter every month. If you don't mind giving us your email, you can get this free pen. People might sign up for the email, like, and then you can contact them, later, like in a day or two, or like a week or whatever, and say, hey, thank you so much for stopping by the table. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. Maybe, like, if you can, as soon as they walk away from the table, write down some really small notes. So I've done this a bunch of times, to where, like, maybe they kind of were talking about, yeah, I've always wanted to kind of make a change, but just kind of lack motivation. Can't really get myself motivated. I seem to get into it, but I always fall off. And you kind of talk with them a little bit, and you get their email for the free pen. They walk away, and then just right next to their email, just like make a little asterisk and write motivation. So then when you email them back, say, hey, thank you for stopping by the table. Really enjoyed talking to you. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. You had mentioned that you really struggle with motivation. So I wanted to send you a couple things that motivate me. And then also you can do an offer for a free session or something like that if you have the time. So you can say, I know you're struggling with motivation. Here's some stuff that helps me. If you need the motivation or you want some accountability, reach out to me. I'm always here, and I'm always happy to help. Also, if you wanted to come by our studio, we'll do a free 30-minute session, just kind of giving you some information on what we do with our clients and how we keep our clients motivated. So that's a great stuff. Anytime you can get to contact them rather than waiting for them to contact you, always better. Anytime you have any kind of personal information you can give, always better. So, and anytime you can make an offer to get them to actually show up or be like another moment of interaction, that's always better as well. So you want to try to layer that stuff. So when I've done community events, I've done all of that, and it works ridiculously well. So that's very helpful. And then also just be talkative to other people in regular life. Now, I'm not very good at this, but like if you're in a grocery store, just be polite. smile, ask people how their day was. So be talkative with people. And the more open you are, the more nice you appear to be, they will talk to you, especially if they see that you can, like, if you're physically fit or you have any kind of, just if you're uncommonly fit, they will start talking to you about food and training, that's for sure. You can also wear a business shirt. So I wear, almost always, I have a shirt that says brutal on it because that's our gym shirt. And I'll either get people to go like, "Oh, brutal! Is that gym down the street?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I usually have fun, kind of just asking them like, "Oh yeah, do you know anybody that goes there?" And they're like, "Yeah, I always thought I was going to stop by and da 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 da," but I don't ever tell them the owner. I just like hearing their what they think of the place before I tell them the owner. But that works. So if you have like your own business, get some shirts made. It's not that expensive, a couple $100 maybe, but you're gonna need shirts to work out in and live life in. You can't walk around naked everywhere. So get some shirts made with your business name on them and wear them around. Okay, strike up some conversation. Be nice. Be friendly. So those are things that can help you in terms of how can people find you. Is social media marketing. It's free and you can do it every damn day. Community events, they're often cheap, and we already talked about how to crush that event. Have a small challenge, interactive part, have pictures with people in them, have handouts, and get contact information for a small giveaway. Then follow up with the contact information on something personal, okay? And then make an offer for like a free session or a service or some sort like that, okay? So one other thing I've done is I've had somebody just say, like I'll email them and say like, "Oh, you mentioned you had struggled losing weight. Like, what do you typically eat every day? Like, what's kind of your meal selection, like meal timing and like food selections?" And believe it or not, they'll email you back. So then you can just kind of give them little tips here and there. And then often what'll happen is they'll want to come to you rather than you having to sell them. Okay. So the next thing we have to worry about here, that took way longer than I expected. I might have to speed up on this, is how can people know what you know? And that's like we said, it was posting on social media and when talking with people, give advice. So on social media, give advice on how they can solve problems. Present to them a problem. Say, having trouble losing weight, and then present to them how they can solve that. So you have to kind of show what you know. People do not know what you know until you tell them what you know. So that is, no one is going to assume just because you say you're a personal trainer that you have any valuable knowledge. Unfortunately, just saying you're a personal trainer doesn't mean much in today's world because everybody with an Instagram account is apparently a personal trainer now. So you have to show what you know. Okay? So, and then don't come across as forceful. Don't come across as a know-it-all. Don't be condescending. Those are ridiculously stupid ways to advertise your knowledge. Why in the hell would you want to put someone down that you're asking help from? So I'm not going to make somebody feel bad and then ask them to give me money. That's stupid. Absolutely stupid. So you don't want to be like forceful because no one likes a forceful person. We don't like that in person. You're not going to like it on social media. Okay? And you don't want to come across as a know-it-all as, "I used to be an idiot, but now I know this, this, and this." Now you're still an idiot. Okay? So we're all idiots in different degrees, and it's a lifelong process to become less stupid. So don't do that. Don't become across as a know-it-all or anything like that. So you just want to offer information that you feel is helpful in a polite and helpful manner. Okay? So, like, how would your grandma talk to you if they wanted to help you with something? Like, super duper nice and friendly, right? That's the way you want to talk to people. Be nice, be friendly, don't be an asshole. That's a good lesson in life. So, and then when you're in person with people, listen first. Listen to them talk. Do not interrupt people to give them advice. Don't say, "Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. So I did this. No. Let them talk, okay? They probably don't have somebody who actually lets them talk in their life. So listen, give an ear before you give your mouth, okay? And then get contact information anytime you meet somebody in person. So say, "Hey, you know what? Like, I can give you some more information maybe through an email. So I can give you some tips here and here now, but it's going to be hard to remember, everything. And I can't really give you all the information in face, person to person. So why don't I get your email and I'll send you some stuff that has helped some past clients." So get their email. Don't give them yours. Get theirs. Okay? So that way you will reach out. And then again, offer a free session if you have extra time. Then the last thing you want to think of, so we just talked about how can people find you? How can people know what you know? The last thing is how can new people decide they should select you over other trainers? So, first of all, what is very sad in today's culture is if you're simply just a nice person who actually cares, that'll make you stand out. So, just be a nice person who cares. Make sure you listen to them, okay? So, and then also recognize that you will not get everyone on the planet. You are likely going to end up with people long term who have very similar personalities to you because you will get along well. Okay, that's how you're going to keep people long term. So the best way to keep people similar to you is to advertise like you're advertising to yourself. So what would you want to see from a trainer's posts or like social media and stuff like that? What would you want to see from a trainer that you would hire that trainer? And present your information in that way. Would you want a trainer who boasted as a know-it-all, who just posted pictures of themselves all the time and talked about how awesome they are? Probably not. Hopefully not. So don't do that yourself. So you don't want something like you wouldn't want a trainer who was coming across as being like condescending or better than everybody else. So don't do that yourself. You wouldn't want a trainer who was forceful and like shoving information on you and trying to just kind of like not listen to you and just say their point of view. You wouldn't want that, so don't do that yourself. So advertise like you're advertising to yourself. You will then get people similar to your personality, and you will be able to get them through the door. They'll like you, and you'll get to keep them for a long time. Okay? So that was incredibly long. I was hoping I should do this whole podcast in 30 minutes. That ain't going to happen. So the next thing we talked about, so that was for how to get new clients. So client acquisition. So that was 3 tips. Now, what about if you're a trainer where you're a natural born salesman, you can get clients anytime you want, you're a smooth talker, but you can't keep them. Or you're a personal training director, you can sell the sessions, but your trainers are letting you down a little bit on how well they're able to retain people and renew sessions, okay? So 3 things you can keep in mind for keeping current clients. Number 1, they have to make progress. You can be the nicest freaking person in the world, but if they come to you to lose weight and they don't lose weight, they will leave. If they come to you to get stronger and they don't get stronger, they will leave. Okay? Whatever their goal was, if they don't feel like they're moving towards it, they will leave. And rightfully so. Why the hell? If I go to a mechanic to fix my car and they're a really nice person, but they don't fix my damn car, that's not helpful, right? So you have to make sure you get progress for your clients. Absolutely 100%, that is the biggest thing. That's how you're going to keep clients is make progress, okay? So make sure they're improving towards their goals. Track what you do with them and communicate with your clients on how they're improving. So if you're doing training, resistance training, and they came in and maybe the first time they ever did leg press, they could do, say, like, 100, like, let's just make up stuff. So they could say they could do 180 pounds on the machine for a set of 10. And maybe you did 3 sets of 10 that day. Well, in a month, if they went from 180 up to 270 for sets of 10, that's badass. Make sure they know that. Tell them. Say, oh, that's freaking awesome. Like a month ago, we were only doing 180, but today you did 270. That's so cool. That's so awesome. That gets them motivated. That makes them feel excited. So even if they're not maybe losing weight, but they can see improvements in their performance in the gym, which will happen much faster, by the way, that's going to keep them motivated to long-term enough to start to see the slower developing type results that most people want. Most people want things that take a long time to develop, but they want them today. So how do you keep them long enough to get the long terms to start to kick into effect is making sure that they can see improvements along the way. So track little things like they do in the gym. Maybe there's like certain exercises you can track, weights, reps, sets, just some type of way that they've improved. So maybe you have some cardiovascular activities. So maybe you're doing a rower and you're timing how fast they can row 500 meters. And they improve on that. Whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. Just pick something, track it, and communicate with them on how well they're improving on that. So show them what they're getting for their efforts. That way they'll keep coming, okay? So you have to show them that they're getting progress. That's the first thing. Second thing is you have to balance tough love. You can't just be a friend. You cannot just be all love and friendship. But you also can't just be an asshole. and crack a whip and be a drill sergeant all the time. So can't be a friend, can't be an asshole. So you got to be a parent. And what is a parent? Sometimes they're a friend, and sometimes they're an asshole. So, and what I mean by that is, as a parent, your goal is to develop a reasonably functioning adult out of your children. So just keep them out of jail, keep them off drugs. If you can do that, that's probably good. So you're just trying to make them good human beings. So if they start veering off that track, you would push them back in. You would warn them and say, hey, just to let you know, that behavior isn't going to lead where you want. And then all of a sudden, when they get into a little bit of trouble, you ground them, you give them rules, you're kind of the a-hole part of the situation, and you get them back on track. So you can nudge with words, and then every once in a while you have to forcefully shove them back on. And when they're on track, you give them positive reinforcement. You say happy things. You say, man, that's really awesome. I really appreciate you took out the garbage today that we didn't even have to ask. That's really cool that you're doing that and helping, keeping your part of keeping this household running smoothly and kind of keeping an equal shared partnership amongst the family. So that's the kind of stuff. So if they come up for training and they're always on time, say that every once in a while. And say, oh man, I have a couple clients lately that have been showing up, about 10, 15 minutes late. I really appreciate the fact that you're always on time. It means a lot to